You wanted to face.
So hello everyone, this is Bridget here. Today I'm going to show you two Anglo-Indian dishes which are very dear to us. One is our Anglo-Indian coconut rice, the yellow rice, and just a simple chicken pepper fry. So let's get started. We'll start with the coconut rice first. So I'm actually going to do it in the pot from the rice cooker, which is very convenient for cooking. So everything goes in the raw state. So we'll measure 2 cups, measuring cups of coconut milk. I've used a pack of homemade coconut milk and diluted it with water to get 2 measuring cups. This is 1 cup of basmati rice which I have washed and drained. So here goes, we are going to start with our coconut rice. So 2 cups of coconut milk. Okay, everything goes in the raw state. So I'm putting in maybe 1 bay leaf and 2 pieces of cinnamon, like around 4 or 5 cloves and 4 cardamoms. You don't have to fry them or anything. Okay, now we put in our rice. So all this goes in the raw state. Okay, now to this we would add maybe a pinch of turmeric, or you could add saffron, whichever is convenient for you. But just in the olden days we didn't have saffron, and our grandmothers always called turmeric as saffron in the olden days just because of the color. Then 2 tablespoons of ghee or butter or oil. So just mix lightly. If you feel you want to add a little more turmeric, you could do so. We don't want it too yellow. We'd love to have just a light, very light yellow. So this is our coconut rice. I'm closing it and putting on so we'll cook on medium heat for some time till it starts boiling, and then lower it to very low heat. So our coconut rice is getting done now. So next we'll go to our very famous chicken pepper fry. So let's get started with this. Okay, I'm cooking just 1 kilo of chicken curry cut. You could use boneless chicken if you like, but mostly pepper fry with curry cut chicken, with chicken on the bone, gives it more strength, and it's much more tasty. So we'll add around 3 or 4 tablespoons of oil. So this is just normal oil, sunflower oil, which I'm using, and 2 large onions which I have sliced finely. Just let the oil heat a little bit and then put in your onions. Okay, you will notice that this is a very, very easy recipe calling for very minimum ingredients. We are actually bringing out the strength of the pepper and the chicken. So in Anglo-Indian cuisine, we are very judicious with the use of our spices and ingredients and condiments. So there's no mishmash of any flavors, and none of the flavors get, sort of, none of the flavors overlap. Anyone watching?
Yeah, many of them. A lot of waves coming to you.
So let's fry our onions well. Sorry, we forgot to add salt in our coconut rice, so I'm adding it now. You can see it started cooking. So this coconut rice forms the base, a very light base of any Anglo-Indian meal, and you could pair it with anything. It's any curry, but mostly coconut rice goes well with meatball curry and chicken curry also, but I thought today we'll just do a pepper chicken instead of a curry. With all the lockdown, it was difficult to get chicken in the first place. Somehow managed to get it today. So our onions are frying well. And if you like to know a secret, we can always add a pinch of salt to the onions while it's frying to sweat it and help it to caramelize faster. So we don't need to get a very golden brown color to our onions. Just a light brown would do, because then we are going to put in the chicken and then this will cook on its own. So again, now the rice is bubbling well. So I put it on very low heat and let it simmer. So basically this is rice simmered in just coconut milk. Sorry for that, I had to take out a lid. So now we add our chicken. So this is, as I said, a kilo of chicken that I've washed and let it drain. Okay, so now just pepper, salt and a hint of turmeric goes into this. So I'm going to add around 3 to 4 tablespoons, teaspoons of fresh ground pepper. Actually, you could keep the pepper a little rough because then it gives it a good bite. Okay, now we'll add our salt. And a hint of turmeric, just to give it like, you know, sort of a glaze.
Yeah.
You'll see we didn't add any curry leaves or ginger and garlic, because if we did that, it would be just an ordinary Indian pepper fry, not an Anglo-Indian pepper fry. Because if you add ginger and garlic, it would taste like a curry, and the curry leaves would, you know, camouflage the actual flavor of the pepper. So while making pepper fry, please don't add anything else except these three ingredients, that is pepper, a hint of turmeric for the glaze, and salt. Okay. So now put it on high for some time till the meat sears. Thank you all for coming today and watching me do this live demo.
We're all very excited to see you cooking live in action.
So we'll just sear it a little and then cover it and let it cook for a little while. You could see that the chicken pieces are becoming firmer.
Yeah.
Once it leaves out the excess of water. So now I'm just going to cover it and let it cook on low heat for some time.
Yeah.
So in the meanwhile, I show you how to make our very famous devil chutney, which is an accompaniment to coconut rice and meatball curry. But since we don't have the meatball curry, we are having a pepper fry today. I couldn't get minced, that's the reason why we couldn't make meatball curry. So instead of that, we'll go ahead with our devil chutney. Now, as you know, devil chutney is a fiery red looking chutney, which is a relish more than a chutney, and is an accompaniment to our coconut rice and ball curry. You will be amazed at the names that devil chutney has. It's called mother-in-law's tongue because of its fiery color. It's called hell's flame. And there are a lot of other names that the devil chutney has. So it's just that you grind everything in the raw state. This is one medium-sized onion. Okay, no need to fry the onions, and maybe like a tablespoon of raisins. Okay, maybe like a quarter teaspoon of chili powder. Even though it looks red, but we are not very free with the chili powder. And salt to taste. And of course a generous helping of sugar to it. Maybe like 1.5 teaspoon. And the main ingredient is vinegar. Maybe like 2 tablespoons of vinegar. So these are the ingredients. I'll just blitz it a little bit in the mixie to show you. And you will be amazed at the color that ultimately comes out. Because the vinegar reacts with the red chili powder and the sugar to give it its color.
Yeah.
So we are done. Look at the coconut rice, it should be done.
There's a question if you can use dry red chilies
Yes,
for chutney.
yes, definitely. Instead of the red chili powder. And our coconut rice is ready. I'm just switching off and let it rest. Okay, you could cook in the rice cooker if you like. Just let it cook on its own. So now our relish is ready. So, devil chutney is ready and our rice is ready. Now we'll wait for the oh, it's smelling awesome.
Yeah.
Coconut rice also. I wish you all were here to taste it, but probably Mohit would arrange something once all this coronavirus scare is over. Maybe we would have a cookout somewhere, sometime. This needs to cook a little longer. So never disturb the rice once it's cooked. We have to wait for it to settle down.
I think Shruti has missed the ingredients of the devil's chutney.
Okay.
You have time to repeat that?
Yes, definitely.
So Juliet's already helped her with some of the ingredients, but if you have time, you can probably
okay.
repeat it
You
again.
need a medium-sized onion, which is chopped roughly. Then like a tablespoon or more of raisins, a pinch of salt, maybe like a quarter teaspoon or a half a teaspoon of chili powder, depending on how hot you want your chutney to be. Or you could use 1 or 2 red chilies, no problem. And sugar, you could add maybe 1 teaspoon or more, depending on how sweet you would like your relish to be. And the main ingredient in it is vinegar, about 2 tablespoons of vinegar. And this is the...
Any tomatoes?
Nothing. These are the only ingredients that are required.
Okay.
And this is our devil chutney. Okay, then I thought I'd just give you all a few hints, tips like from my one of my books, which is a collection of simple Anglo-Indian recipes. So that's in the introduction, a few tips on how to get the authentic taste of Anglo-Indian dishes cooked by grandma. So first of all, the joy of cooking begins with using the right ingredients. Never try to experiment. When you're following a recipe, you see that you follow the exact recipe with the exact ingredients. Because if you're going to experiment and use your way of cooking or your ingredients, then it's not the same dish. You would have to name it something else. So, in order to get the authentic and well-remembered taste of grandma's Anglo-Indian curries and side dishes, it is always advisable to use the right ingredients that are called for in the recipe. So, the secret of good tasty cooking is the right proportion of ingredients that are to be used in cooking a particular dish. So, while preparing any dish, a perfectly balanced mix of the various ingredients should be maintained, since adding even a little more or less can ruin the dish. Another important aspect is to extract the correct strength of a spice and never overstate it. Then always use good quality spices and condiments. As far as possible, use ginger and garlic paste that you grind at home in a blender. Because buying store-bought ginger garlic paste would have other preservatives and acetic acid in it, which would detract from the taste of the dish that you want to prepare. But in case fresh homemade ginger and garlic paste is not available, you could use garlic powder or ginger powder instead of the fresh ginger and garlic. So 1 teaspoon of dry ginger powder mixed with quarter cup of water is equal to 2 teaspoons of fresh ginger paste. All this is trial and error that I have done and come to this, come to all these. And half a teaspoon of ginger powder would be equal to 1 teaspoon of fresh ginger paste. So a good curry depends on the right ingredients, and take time to fry the onions and other ingredients to give it depth and body and taste. While using dry spice powders, always mix them together with a little water before adding them to fried onions when you're making a curry. Because then, the powders don't burn. Whereas if you put them in as a slurry, they fry well with the onions. And try to get fresh meat, fresh vegetables wherever possible. And if the meat is marinated or mixed with the curry stuff or kauri powder before cooking, gives it more taste. Okay, so finally follow the recipe. I've jumped a few tips, but it's there in my book. Don't experiment by adding or changing ingredients, as the dish wouldn't taste the way it should. Each dish calls for certain ingredients, and the spices and condiments should be used judiciously. So to conclude, in the words of Wolfgang Puck, cooking is like painting a picture or writing a song. Just like there are only so many colors or notes, there are only so many flavors. It's how you combine them that sets you apart.
That's sweet.
Now, we'll just dry this up. You can see we didn't add any water All the water came out from the chicken. The chicken pieces also have shrunk, and in no time now we are going to have our dish that is ready. So once again, I'll repeat the recipe for you. 2 large onions, I sliced them and fried them in 3 to 4 tablespoons of oil. Then I added a kilo of curry cut chicken. To this, I added 3 to 4 teaspoons of freshly ground pepper and salt, and maybe like half a teaspoon of turmeric to give it the glaze. Those were the only ingredients that went into this pepper fry. And I must especially thank my assistant Priyana. She'll show you her face later.
No, that's okay.
She is my yoga instructor, and very sweetly agreed to help me to do this video. Otherwise,
my
I would
pleasure.
have to do it myself. So you could see it's getting that beautiful color now. Okay, and then we always love our potatoes. So I've parboiled 4 potatoes already. Now that the dish is almost ready, I'm going to just add them in and give them a light stir so that the potatoes get the flavor of the pepper. So that's it, everyone. Thank you for watching. I'll post the pictures of the 3 dishes later on the group and give you the recipes as well. So this is our Anglo-Indian coconut rice. You can see. I've used basmati rice, as you could see. Once again, it's just rice simmered in coconut milk. Everything goes in the raw state. So 1 measure of rice to 2 measures of coconut milk. I used the pack, or you could use freshly constituted coconut milk using coconut powder, or use fresh coconut as well. Whole spices, just a few, cardamom, cinnamon and cloves, and 1 bay leaf, and a hint of turmeric, maybe like a half a teaspoon of turmeric, or if you want, you could use saffron. So these are our 3 dishes for today: coconut rice, pepper fry, and devil chutney. Thank you for watching, and bye.